Greetings and welcome my friends. This is Mosef. Moose PH. The Moose Doctor. He's got a doctorate in moosology. This will be a slight departure from our usual strategy shots. In this video we will go over the community deck that's been named Ghost in the Shell. It's a rather complicated deck at times, so we wanted to go through a game and give suggestions on how to play it. We start off this game with an excellent 3-lander. We love having the removals early while we try to set up our board. We are playing Mirror Box. Obviously we want to be able to keep multiple legendary permanents on board. And we do have a good amount of legendary cards at the deck. The benefit of the Mirror Box outweighs the drawback of having it early when it doesn't impact the game much. Hullbreaker Horror is a card we try to duplicate with the Myriad Pools. The flip side of the Everflowing Well. And Mirror Box is our way of getting multiples of the pools in play. The opponent looks to be on mono red. Early we want to keep their men to a minimum while we continue to build up. We are not using sweepers. Large crowds of men could pose problems. In this case we want to keep our life total up since they can pour damage out in large quantities. Having removals in hand and not having anything to use them on is a good problem to have. One thing we might be weak against is enemy walkers. We do have Sheoldred's Edict to snipe them, but we have only 3 in the deck. Sheoldred herself could work as well, but that's only if they don't have men to sacrifice instead of their walker. As luck would have it, we drew into a 5th land. We could play the Masticore now, but then we leave ourselves open to them having a way of destroying it. We do have a man land we can activate and use it to take out Chundra. The Shark land is perfect as it will hit for her exact loyalty. They essentially paid 3 mana to hit us for 1 damage. A rather bad rate. We do have card draw and looting, so I fully expect to outdraw mono red in this matchup. By taking out one of their cards without using up a removal is great for our card economy. Note that we can mill ourselves with the Shark land, but as we don't have cards yet that care about what we have in the grave, we'll mill them. Amazing. They go for the same play again. There is absolutely nothing stopping us from swinging it again with the Shark land. Let's see what card they kept on top. That looks like a Strangle. 3 damage to a creature or walker is not much use against us. All our men have a toughness of 5 or greater. We're dropping one of our legendary artifacts. This is Matzalantli, the Great Door. We use it for its loot effect, and when there are 4 or more permanent types in our grave, we can flip it into the core, a legendary land that taps for X mana of a single color, where X is the number of permanents we have in the grave. In order to get close to flipping it, we have to get a virtue in the grave. Getting 3 permanent types is easy: artifact, creature, and land. But virtue is the only enchantment we have. Tossing a Masticore gets us 2 permanent types with only 1 card. We have to toss the virtue if we want to flip the Great Door. With this deck, what we really want to do is keep turning through the deck to find the cards we want. The Great Door is great with its loot effect, and then when we need the mana boost we can flip it into its land form. It does cost 4 mana to flip, but after we have the land we should have more mana than we can use. Sheoldred is the perfect hit. Not only is it removal, but we can flip Shelly and get back all men in every grave. That means we can easily toss men we have in hand into the grave, since we'll get them in play anyways. Against decks that are light on removal, a Masticore can dominate the board and wipe out squads of men. But it doesn't end there, as the Masticore's ability hits non-land permanents. It's too bad Masticore hasn't seen play in any standard since its release. We sneakily got up to 7 mana when nobody was looking. We'll drop a virtue and get to closing the game out. Mono red has no way of removing an enchantment once it's down, so we have to only watch out that we are not burned out. Axanil is a beast, but one we can tame. We have many options available to us. We can fire off Edict. We can toss Sheoldred and then bring her back with Virtue. We can toss the Horror and bring him back and then bounce Axanil. Essentially, you can make whichever play feels best to you. There really is no wrong way to play the deck, only keep in mind what options are available to you. Another key ingredient is getting to 7 mana, at that point every card in the deck can be played. Chimil, the Inner Sun, is another fantastic card to get into play. Once we have it on board, it will fetch up the majority all our cards minus Hullbreaker Horror and another Chimil. If you thought one Sheoldred was scary, we can have all 3 in play at the same time. And flip one right after the other until the opponent self-explodes. At this point, what we're looking for is a land to toss into the grave. Flipping the Great Door into the core will allow us to overwhelm the opponent with powerful cards and effects. All that's missing is the Everflowing Well. They take out Shelly but had to use a pair of cards. This sets them too far back to be able to come back. They will only be falling further and further behind. It's already GG's, they just don't know it yet. This is Ghost in the Shell. The deck was put together in the community section of our channel. Cards were voted on over a period of probably a couple months. I want to thank everyone who participated in getting this deck to where it is today. All the votes count, we couldn't have done it without you, ladies and shark men. We have started testing the deck and are looking to make some minor changes. Then we'll continue fine-tuning until we get solid results on a consistent basis. The deck is fun to play, there's powerful stuff going on and plenty of card draw. Because of certain cards we play, the focus does need to remain on permanence and keep sorcery and instant cards to a minimum. That's going to be it for the video, we will catch you next time.